Actually, I have another couple of questions, then we're going to move on to the nation speeches. So,
okay, guys, I'm a massive sort of fan of equality and meritocracy, and it genuinely, like, I wouldn't say I have every night the sleepless night, but I do have massive issues with the country, and like an unelected House of Lords and sort of a monarch, sort of in principle, like it is unfair that that's what sort of determines. But then at the same time, guys, like it's just, is it sort of really the most important issue going on at the moment? And like the trouble is, I think, although it's completely unfair, I think Britain, just by having like a really old legal system, has come into this sort of legal fortune where everything, like, you can't argue that Britain is a bad place to be in right now. But I mean, there's loads of things I'd like to change. It's just, why is this the #1 priority for fairness? I mean, couldn't we sort some stuff out and maybe in 100 years' time get around into sort of dealing with this when maybe people are a bit more forward-thinking?
We'll all be dead by then.
Well, my children won't be dead. Like,
another question? Sorry.
Can I just ask the pro-monarchists, why are you so risk-averse to a change in our constitution and our society? Why do you want to keep the status quo when actually change is a very good thing? And I'd just like to quote or make you aware of the fact that actually Manchester has a fantastic heritage of changing our constitution and arriving at equality. Okay, and I'll point you in the direction of the suffragette movements back in the Middle Victorian times, when it was people from Manchester that actually drove the suffragette movement, made a change in our society, a change in our constitution for the betterment, I think, of everybody in our community. So I'll ask you the question, why are you so adverse to change? When change is a good thing.
I'm not opposed to change, but if something is worth changing, then let's change it. If the British people want to change it, let's change it. I mean, I agree with your
give them a vote then.
Believe me, I am not opposed to a referendum on this issue. I think there are I agree with you. I think there are perhaps slightly more important things for us to have a referendum on.
I'm sure, absolutely certain that the male community in the 1910s thought exactly the same about the suffragette.
No, I don't think they did. I don't think they did. I think they'd have said, no referendum on this whatsoever. I hate change. I'm saying I think change is worth doing if I and my fellow polity think it's a good idea. I mean, I would quite like to have a referendum on lots of things that I think are more important and make us more equal. But if we must have, we have a referendum on electricity or something because no one voted for that. No one has voted for it. Okay, fine, but I think most people like it instead. But if we really need one, and it's the most sensible allocation of public resources, then let's have one. Let's win it, and then you can go and be socialist or
Just on that point, I think you're mistaking the fact that we're sort of like the dark forces of reactionary politics here. It's not what that's about at all. I said in answer to the previous questions, I have positive reasons to support the monarchy. It's not the fact that I, like some dotted out Earl in the House of Lords, create scaremongering about change. I'm scared that they don't have come to a debate unprepared about having a solution or having, an idea or a solid idea and understanding of what they want. But I'm not scared of the debate. That's why I'm here. I'm not scared of change. Change is not good in and of itself. It has to be changed for the right reasons. It has to be good reasons to change things. And I think that the monarchy is not something that we should change. I think there's positive reasons for keeping it as it is. Plenty of other things that I'm quite happy to debate about change. I'd quite like without Europe. That's one of the changes I would like to see. Let's vote on that one. But yeah, I think that you have to separate the difference. That just because we're defending the status quo does not mean that we are the old dotted out reactionary forces that you think we're.
Yeah, come on, let's come back on a few of these. We keep hearing that this is the most important issue. Why are you debating it then? Why are you debating it? It's not an important issue, let's just get rid of it. But the fact is that the very existence of the BMS shows that they're right. You know, you'd think, wouldn't you, after decades of conditioning, that everybody would be in love with the monarchy. But the fact is that the BMS society is set up because they're scared. They're scared of what may transpire. This issue, by the way, that's not the most important thing. Well, the MP's expenses weren't the most important thing, but it had to be sorted out. And this has to be sorted out. It's another thing that has to be sorted out. If you look back on history, back into the Second World War, the social security system was set up. There were more important things to do than that, but we had to do it. The back into the First World War, votes for women. You know, we can do more than one thing at a time in this country. We've got 600 things for me to say.
I mean, I'm sure that if you look back into history in the mid-60s, just after the women's right to choose was made legal, and homosexual sex was made legal, there were those who wanted to push women's rights further and gay rights further, who were told, "Oh, it's legal now. What's the problem? Why do you need to press it?" Because of the economy and trade and events and all the rest of it, health service, education. And like Grace just said, policy advances on multi-track. And the thing about it, despite the, I mean, you have to give it to Oliver. His delivery is very good, but the content of what he's delivering is complete balderdash. Because if you have a medieval mindset, and you believe in a deity that imparts a divine right to govern, and that's your medieval mindset, then monarchy suits, monarchy fits that mindset. But ever since 1789, or maybe even 1649, that it does not suit the modern mind. And legitimacy rests in the people, nowhere else. It rests in the people. And that is, we can debate how much they cost or what they're like, that's really irrelevant. Monarchist arguments are either wrong, or irrelevant, or both. So, ask yourself, what fits the modern mindset? That's the nub of this issue.